One of our great partners here at the First Serve over the last couple of years has been AATC, Australasian Academy of Tennis Coaches, providing quality coach education right across the globe. Courses delivered by industry leaders, tennis business owners. Learn locally. You can coach all over the world. Internationally endorse, inquire and enrol at aatc.tennis. The CEO, I haven't caught up with him for a little while. He's so good on the radio. We thought we've got to get him back. Linton Joseph, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, Brett. Thanks for having us once again.
Just for those who, mightn't have listened to our program over a long stretch, succinctly, how would you sum up AATC? Because this is something that you have built from the ground up and it's ever expanding.
Gee, I didn't know I was getting tough questions. I suppose we're a conduit, bringing people together. And now with COVID, post-COVID, opening borders to opportunity. And that's what our main focus on currently is giving opportunity.
Okay. I mean, the coach education space it's so important, isn't it? 100%. And it's a discussion. I mean, I have a lot of these discussions off air with people about have we got enough coaches? Are our coaches as qualified as they need to be? Obviously, there are coaches, Linton, who are in the performance space. There are others more in the grassroots junior space, put a racket in the hand and get people into the sport. I want to ask you, and we were talking about this off air today, and I want you to explain it to our listeners, staffing issues in Australia. Can you break down what that actually means? Yeah,
I think all industries have been hit by it since COVID. Is having enough staff, or we've got a shortage of coaches here in Australia. If you look at the rhetoric, the conversation that's been happening with so many business owners looking for staff. Yet they don't have enough staff to do that 20 to 25 hours a week. And that's been a real concern. And what we've done is, I suppose, the last 14 months is we've experimented with international coaches and brought them over. As you know, we spend a lot of time in Southeast Asia and the UK delivering these courses. And what we're sort of thinking about and have been doing is bringing international coaches over here. But it's not just as simple as that. In the past, a lot of coaches will get a CV and an email, and they'll go straight to the junk mail or the trash. So we're three-dimensionaling, or we're getting a three-dimensional perspective on the coach. So we've got a real thorough process where we vet international coaches and we try and match them up and marry them with the right business owner, and we provide videos so the business owner here can actually see how the language barrier is. So that's one important aspect of it. Can they hit a tennis ball? What's their technique like? Because being able to deliver and also demonstrate is really important. Can they manage a class? Lesson management's really easy, but actually delivering error detection and correction. So our three fundamentals are when we run a course is having as much fun and engagement as you possibly can. 2 or 3 learning points and hitting as many tennis balls as you can. So that's pretty much in simple terms. So when we're looking at coaches coming over here, we want to get them past the stage of lesson management and introducing that whole aspect of coach education. And with it comes its pitfalls. And we've had a long learning experience now, and now we're getting very close to as expert as we possibly can and continually not being so ahead of ourselves that we become complacent. But what we're doing is placing coaches, and we've been placing them across Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, WA, and even we've got a coach from Hyderabad living the life in Broome with Darren Patton and Jaron Kretschmann up at Middle Palmer Connection Limited and Remote Tennis Services. So the stories are amazing. I go back to my childhood migrating here when I was 1 and my parents taking a risk. And I had one of the coaches ring me 3 months ago. He was coming to Australia and he rang me up to say, look, can I come 3 days later? And I said, oh, yeah, why? What's happened? He said, oh, my wife hasn't given birth yet. And this is the sacrifice they're making because they really want it. So when you get a coach from overseas here, they want to work and they're going to grab the opportunity with both hands. And we're now working on a pathway for PR, permanent residency. So those that are really excelling, exceeding capabilities are going to have some more opportunity to make a difference. And Australia's a diverse country and multicultural, and they're bringing shared experiences, I guess, shared responsibilities.
So when you say there were staffing issues, so we've got a lot of clubs all over Australia, and then a club will have traditionally, a head coach, and then obviously coaches underneath, and a lot of kids are coming and going out of tennis clubs on a day-to-day basis, having either individual lessons or group lessons. So are we saying that there was just across the board just not enough coaches for the players, the amount of players coming through?
There's enough coaches, but not enough that want to work the hours that are required.
Okay.
And that's where the big division is, I think, in the big scheme of things. I mean, I spent the last couple of days ringing up all our coaches that have been, taken on staff from overseas. And, just simply ask them, what are the reasons that you're taking them on? And the main reason was because shortage of staff. And that was the primary reason. And there's several other reasons, and it included stuff like, there's a different perspective coming. That you've got a coach that wants to work. So when they want to work, feedback's easier to deliver, and there's no ego in there. We coach them a lot when they're overseas as well, but we also take the headache out of the visa process. So we have a staff or a team in India as well as in Australia that manage the visa process. Mm. So we do all the paperwork, we do all the professional letters, the immigration portal, the health insurance. We make sure that they're vetted overseas, and that's after that the coach is happy with that particular coach. We've got a new jobs website called AATCtennisjobs.com,
yep.
And that's where you can actually log in and see the coaches available and marry yourself up with them and say, hey, AATC, I like that particular coach. Can I? And then we'll facilitate a three-way Zoom meeting or whatever it is. Get to know each other. The coach in Australia will say, hey, I like that person. I can see they've got the energy I want. We tee up a second interview with them. There are pitfalls, though, so we provide a full concierge service for these coaches that are coming because we know that they're going to struggle. They're going to have a honeymoon period where they're going to be excited, ecstatic to come. What an opportunity. But then there's going to be that, I'm missing home. So we monthly Zoom with all our coaches based in Australia just to make sure that they're are you okay? What's going well? What's not working well?
Yep.
Try and put them in with the right communities and connections. We spend a lot of time talking to the coaches as well to make sure that they're going okay. We look over contracts to make sure that both parties are doing the right thing legally, especially with super. Make sure they've got their tax file numbers. Yep. They're working with children. Their insurance, so they'll get their insurance. And making sure they do another course when they come to Australia. So they're reinforcing what they've learned, but doing it in an environment that is what they're going to be expected to. So if a coach and all these coaches that take them in, and I just take my hat off to them, what a wonderful thing they are doing, providing this opportunity. And I don't think they pat themselves on the back enough, the ones that have taken them on.
And you're looking for more, aren't you?
Looking for heaps more. We're going to have a high demand,
yep.
And we just think, or we not think, we know this is working really well, really well.
So how does it, and we haven't spoken for a little while, but obviously, through us building a bit of a partnership here at the First Serve, and me understanding your business in the last 3 years, you're sort of independent, but then also, linking in with Tennis Australia as the governing body of the sport. So can you just explain for those listening in who understand the coaching space and just that dynamic and how that works? Yeah,
well, the journey with Tennis Australia has been it's been hilly in the past, but of recent years it's been pretty yep. good. Mm-hmm. They help us with the visa process as well. They understand that there is a real need, and they know we're doing it really well, and they're encouraging us to maintain what we're actually doing to allow this opportunity. So on one hand, the coaches are solving their problem of staffing, but they're getting so much more out of it, from a holistic point of view, and that's the part that we sort of think, there's not a day that doesn't go by where I don't feel privileged and humbled by seeing the genuine happiness on the faces of all these coaches from overseas. They've taken a risk. I don't like leaving Coburg for more than 10 minutes.
I know, to get you here tonight, I can twist your arm.
But the reality is, it's like it's pretty special what these coaches are doing, and
yep.
And I'm thanking them all the time for this.
Great stuff. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more of Linton Joseph on the other side, the CEO of the Australasian Academy of Tennis Coaches. Great partners. You hear us mention them every week here on The First Serve. We'll continue that chat next.
Celebrating 15 years, thanks to GLG Green Life Group, your specialist in keeping your sports turf in top condition with minimal disruption at glgcorp.com. This is The First Serve, your home of tennis.
Welcome back. The CEO of the AATC, Australasian Academy of Tennis Coaches, Linton Joseph, is in the studio, one of our great partners. We've been covering, of course, some of the staffing issues and how Linton's business, which goes and coaches and educates and trains coaches all over the globe, particularly, Linton, as you mentioned, through Southeast Asia predominantly, and you mentioned the UK as well, and getting them to come out to Australia and work. And the good part is, and you can talk through the costings, because that is, I suppose, something that needs to be ticked off. If you're going to drag people from other parts of the world to come here, it needs to be appealing.
Yeah, well, the good news is to the Australian business owners taking on a coach, there's no cost to them. We do every single thing from start to finish, and that takes off the burden of that. And all we do is ask them to offer them a term worth of coaching as a start. Obviously, with contracts and there's out clauses, we know that. But the real thing is a coach that wants to, or a business owner that wants to, bring someone on from a different culture, give them that opportunity. Understand they might be a bit wet around the ears to start with for the first week, but once they come, they're just a huge asset. We've got a lady working for us from India, Hyderabad, and I think my wife was telling me yesterday that she's been cooking curries for our social class, and I'm sort of wondering where's my curries, but it's just a nice story that relationship, that partnership has been solidified. And on a good note, we did let about 2,500 Indians know about tonight, so hopefully we've got a few sign up on the app. So must there and nice. Chuck their India
app, absolutely.
To all our Indian listeners, if they've come on, managed to download the app. Okay.
We've got a few on our Facebook, so we'll share this on our Facebook. Got a fair contingent who have followed us across the journey. So predominantly, what are some of the other countries where coaches are coming from?
India mainly.
Yep.
And Singapore. Okay. Singapore is another country, and Malaysia being the same island, I guess. And China yet hasn't opened up since COVID for us. We have got a group coming, but that's for a separate event, more an Australian Open event. But the rest we sort of specialising in. And once we've specialised the visa, we've got 100% record so far, touch wood.
Yep.
Everyone that we've applied for has been placed and or has had their visa come through. And that's blown us away. And we're really excited for the future and we're hoping that we continue to provide this moving forward.
I'm just intrigued. What do you think those international coaches, because they've come from a different culture, I mean, Australia is so multicultural, as we know. We all, this is an incredible country, whatever corner you walk. But what do you think they bring in terms of just maybe their personality, Linton? They're, obviously, some are more qualified and then they're getting up to speed more in terms of, coaching. But, just their personality and what they bring.
Oh, they bring an amazing amount of respect. They just naturally bring that a strong work ethic, which I'm always attracted to. They just work hard, and self-development. They always want to improve. They always ask questions, and I've had coaches come and I've been critical initially, but they've taken the feedback on and turned it around and have just amazed me. And we've got, like, for instance, the girl Monica is with us at the moment. She's been with us since May, and she's doing really well. And as are all the coaches across the country so far. Because, like I said, we can continually speak with the coaches, we continually speak with the business owners. We want to make sure this is working.
Got about 30 seconds to a minute. But if people want to get in contact with you, business owners out there, you're looking for more to take on some coaches from abroad, how do they make contact?
They can email us at info@aatc.tennis or just go through aatc.tennis. Our numbers are there, and we're happy to help. And no, nothing's too hard. Nothing's too hard for us. We want to make this work. We want businesses here to flourish, tennis to develop, obviously.
No doubt. I mean, I've known you for a while now. I know your passion. You still getting out on the court a little bit, tapping around?
No, not at the moment, just coaching. So I'm thankful for bringing me in out of the cold tonight. It was freezing out there, and your studio's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Melbourne, eh? Gee, if you dropped in Melbourne and you'd never think, what on earth's going on in this place? It's like a summer's day into the middle of June. And the whole 4 seasons in one day. It is absolutely crazy. Linton, thank you for coming in. Thank you for your continued great support of the show as well.
Thanks again, Brett.
Linton Joseph, AATC.tennis. Go and check it out. Australasian Academy of Tennis Coaches, tennis business owners, industry leaders delivering the courses. Learn locally, coach globally, internationally endorsed. AATC.tennis. Back with the second hour of the show after the break.